in the future you will own nothing and you will be happy. These companies that are, they're overreaching with what they're doing. Like you hear about BlackRock. I suggest y'all dig into the BlackRock rabbit hole. They own a lot of majority stake in huge companies, and they're just, these big companies are gonna become like the kings of like the old time. But they're like, you got Jeff Bezos, these billionaires. They're gonna be the big players, I believe, moving forward in this dystopian future we might be headed towards.
So here we
Let's get into. I haven't seen
go.
nothing about it, so this is a fresh watch for both of us.
Yes.
Oh, where's the guy?
Both candidates have, in many cases, very similar views on making the U.S. even stronger.
BlackRock. I was just mentioning BlackRock CEO.
Ah.
I just mentioned this dude. Yep. Yeah.
But you deploy capital differently under
Yes.
President Trump than under President Harris.
On the margin, not
that much?
No, I think we over-conflate.
That is the CEO of the single largest asset manager in the world, Larry Fink. You may know them as BlackRock, and he's telling you your presidential vote is meaningless. He's also partially correct. The spectrum of choice has become so limited that in national elections, you're almost always forced to select a candidate who will put capital, the rich, above all else.
Do you feel like both sides do it?
Yeah, I think so.
Regardless of
Yeah.
whether Republican or Democrat, they
Yeah.
sometimes always favor the rich no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
For us, it's often a race of who will hurt the working class less. This lack of choice in your life isn't just in our political systems, it's in our economic day-to-day. The working class is struggling just to survive. Debt delinquencies are at the highest point since the pandemic, grocery prices are soaring, rent rapidly rising, and home ownership diminishing. Further, the form in which we purchase has changed such that we rent more than we purchase. Your car payment, your phone plan, Netflix, Spotify.
Phone plan, right? So whenever you I was discussing switching phones, I'm looking at phone plans. Well, I mean, do you really own your phone? Because then if you leave the company, then you owe the phone. So are you just renting your phone essentially?
Well, if you pay it off. I mean, I own my old iPhone, but that's if you pay it off or whatever deal you strike.
But you're renting it for X amount of years. You're under contract, and if you leave,
That depends on the contract.
yeah. But most contracts, if you leave, you pay the price.
Yeah.
So do you really, really own your phone in the end? And then music, right? We see the Spotify logo. There's me as a musician. I honestly talked about this. You really even own physical media anymore.
Video games.
Video games is a big one, right? A lot of it's downloaded, and if the server goes down, the game's gone. So you don't own the video game anymore.
That money you paid for that fake code, it's gone.
Yeah, exactly. It's gone.
Your money's gone.
And how
that game is gone.
And how expensive video games are. When the server goes away, what happens?
Yep.
It's a very big thing for us gamers.
Even the heated seats in the very vehicle you lease.
What?
That's insane.
You're
That's so
lying
crazy.
to me, bro. BMW offering heated seats on a monthly subscription. So essentially, the feature is in the car, but you are not allowed to use the feature unless you pay money. What
Sounds like it.
the hell?
So dystopian, dude.
These payments in isolation feel manageable, but linked together they form a chain that shackles you in place, tied to a situation where the rich slowly extract record wealth from you on a quarterly basis. The foundation in which this economic situation is emerging begs the question, have we entered an era beyond capitalism? To some economists and scholars, the answer is yes, and the implications here are terrifying. That capitalism is dead, and these guys killed it.
The Jeff Bezos.
And rising from the grave is something
Oh my
far
gosh.
more
Wrap it up.
nefarious. It's called techno-feudalism. You know the phrase, you'll own nothing and be happy.
Yep.
What I
Yet,
referenced.
its origins might surprise you. Published by Ida Aachen in a 2016 World Economic Forum essay, she highlights a potential emancipatory and equitable world where people's fundamental needs are met in lieu of a growing 21st century economy.
Isn't it weird how like I feel like in big cities everyone's pushed because we don't live in a big city, but you know that's why I love rural America, man. Because I feel like rural
Mhm.
America, you actually own stuff. You
Yep.
own your stuff. You take ownership of where you live. But then I feel like they're trying to push everybody into the big city. But when they push everybody into the big city, apartments, right? Apartment complex. Everybody's got to be shoved into these small
living on
little
top of
complexes.
each
Yeah, living on
other.
top of each other, and it's incredibly expensive to live in.
I don't think humans were built to live that way, first of all. I think we're built to live, in our little pockets, our communities, but not as big as how these cities are. Not with as much people, as much noise. I don't think it's just sustainable for like mental health and just
Yeah,
overall.
I agree.
Yeah.
Focused on service rather than production and consumption. Despite the butchering of the phrase's meaning, the feeling of unease is understandable. There is something slightly ominous even in the phrase's structure, its form. The juxtaposition of nothingness, emptiness, a void, sentenced together with happiness. It's the uncanny valley of phrases. Yet, there's currently two visions in how that phrase can be interpreted. A positive approach where public commons ensure everyone's needs are met and people are free to pursue life without the fear of homelessness or starvation, while a darker interpretation can be seen as this techno-feudalism. Medieval feudalism was a simple system. Lords owned the land, serfs labored and developed it, while the lord took the majority share for himself. If the serfs didn't like this arrangement, they would starve or be excommunicated. While it sounds like an exaggeration, we're witnessing this today. So, what is techno-feudalism, and how is it different than capitalism? Techno-feudalism was coined by Yanis Varoufakis, detailed in his book, Techno-Feudalism: What Killed Capitalism. Varoufakis is an economist and former Greek finance minister. He makes a compelling argument that for the first time, capitalism regressed into an economic system where platforms, not markets, are organizing labor power.
Interesting.
But its organization of labor doesn't produce. It's raw extraction via rent. To understand his point, we need to make it clear capitalism broadly operates under a market of profit seeking from the exchange and creation of goods and services, fueled by wage labor. To Varoufakis, we're seeing executively controlled platforms replace markets. Think app stores charging you 30% of all revenue. Me making
So I didn't know this until recently. I didn't know that whenever you buy something from Apple from the App Store, there's something called an Apple tax. If you buy it from the App Store, which is convenient, right? You subscribe you subscribe to something from the App Store. For example, ChatGPT, I think, was an example of that. If you subscribe to ChatGPT from your phone, it could be more expensive because there's something called an Apple tax. Apple needs some revenue. So if you're going to subscribe to it via the Apple App Store, you're going to be charged more money because Apple has to make its revenue. And in a way, they make it convenient, right? So it's like, okay, Amazon replacing all the markets. It's like, yes. So Amazon, let's say you have all these convenient little knickknacks or whatever, which Amazon is very convenient, right? You can just go on your phone, you can find anything you need from Amazon itself and be shipped to your house in a couple days. So what if this local store has the knickknacks, whatever you need, instead of driving over there, you're too lazy to drive, and it's like Amazon now becomes the market for everything. You need groceries? Amazon. You need decorations for your house? Amazon. You need tech? Amazon. You need you want video games? Amazon. New phone? Amazon. Everything goes through. It's like Amazon is like the place you buy everything from. You can't go anywhere
Yeah.
else but Amazon.
It's kind of scary.
Which leads
putting
to a
it that way.
monopoly.
It is, and it could lead into this techno feudalism we're living in, because the owners, Jeff Bezos, they're gonna be the new kings, the new rulers of this world. You know, we talk about
Everybody has an iPhone.
yeah,
Everybody has an iPhone. It's like they want everybody to use iPhone, nothing else. Everything you're going to use, any single communication device, has to be this one. It's the
Yeah.
only communication
Yeah.
device that there is.
we talk about cyberpunk all the time, but I think it's such like it's so true. Like in that world, the big companies are like fighting the wars. They're kind of over they have more power than the government.
Yeah.
And I hope we don't go down that route.
Yeah.
That route.
Same.
Making this video on YouTube for free with the potential for ad revenue, yet under the threat it can be demonetized at any point. The owners of these platforms
Demonetized. Yeah.
aren't creating anything except the digital platform itself. Traditional markets rely on the production and exchange of goods and services. With modern platforms, instead of production and exchange, we have rent. Wealth extraction of the user base's labor and behavior, and it's executively controlled by these guys.
Question about work-life balance all the time from both ends of the spectrum. And my view is I don't even like the phrase work-life balance. I think it's misleading. I like the phrase work-life harmony.
Okay.
Today,
So
that
you're
even
always
mean?
working. No, it's like, so how do a CEO saying that? It's like, I'm like, okay, maybe him as a CEO, he can have work-life balance because he's got all the money in the world. He can go and travel, do whatever he wants. But I'm like, what about regular, day-to-day, your average Joe working for Amazon? No, you're gonna have you buddy is work-life harmony. You're gonna have to coincide your work and your life. They're gonna coincide. Mine are not because I don't have to. See what I'm saying there?
Yep. And I would say it's like here he built the company up himself, and like he kind of already dedicated that part, but it's still like you gotta, I don't know, like treat. I've heard like bad stories of how they treat Amazon treats their employees and like how harsh they are. It's like you gotta have some great, like, I don't know.
They're people, man.
Yeah,
you have
they're
humans
people.
working for you.
You
People
can't be
working
a
for
psycho.
you. They're not robots, bro.
Yeah,
That's robots.
exactly.
They're living human beings working for you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
people don't understand. People don't sit back and think about that.
The top dogs
Google,
don't.
Meta,
No, they don't.
Amazon, Uber, Airbnb don't create goods and services. They rent you access to customers or content. Because of how powerful these platforms are, like a serf, many are forced to till the proverbial digital soil.
I think it makes sense now. It makes a lot more sense to me why they want you to rent. Because when you're renting something, it's a forever inflow of money because they're never going to own it. They're always going to be giving you money. And the reason why they wouldn't want you to own anything and don't want you to own, because once you own something, it's yours and you don't pay for it anymore.
Bro, imagine if like Amazon or like these companies, they like got into buying like properties. So you're paying your rent to them. Say, hypothetically, you're paying your rent to the Amazon owned apartment, and then you go work for them. You're basically like you're a slave to Amazon at that point.
Yeah.
That's
That's crazy, bro.
like that's why it's scary. Like with these big companies, if they like overstretch and start buying off property, or you hear Bill or was it Bill Gates buying property? I don't know. I might just be making that up, but it can go down if these billionaires and stuff, they get too much power, man.
Yeah, I definitely see where you're going with this. I mean, it definitely
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Of these platforms if they want to survive in a given industry. You want customers? You must sell your product on Amazon. You want your business to grow? Post on Instagram. And if you need employment, you let Uber contract and sell you potential riders. And this phenomenon is something we are now calling employment. No healthcare, no benefits, no time off, all under the banner of freedom, of self-entrepreneurship. But as anyone who drives Uber or DoorDash, know this is bullshit.
Do you know how much a passenger pays for each trip?
Company, they don't tell us, they try to hiding with that. Yes, they try to hiding everything.
So it seems the majority of my money is not going into my driver's pocket. and my driver has no knowledge of the exorbitant price I'm paying or how much of that the company is taking. And we're all just okay with that? The answer I got at the Denver International Airport from drivers and customers was a resounding no.
So I wonder how much money is Uber taking, right? Uber, you're driving people around, right?
And
Right,
Ubers are so expensive.
Yeah, Ubers are incredibly expensive, right? Right. So, especially, I'm assuming, right, the longer the distance, the more money, right? Makes sense, right? The longer you drive, the longer your trip is, the more money it's going to cost you. Okay, makes sense, right? How much of that is actually going to the driver?
I believe very small.
Very small, minuscule pie percentage, right? And how much is the company really taking? And my question is, how much does this company really need to take? Right? Because they don't have to, I don't think Uber needs to have a bunch of offices everywhere, right? No, because your employers are always out on the move. So they don't got to have an office space. They don't got to have a building. Maybe one building, right, for people running the software for Uber, right? They're running the servers, their database, right, for safety, right?
So
for
you're
now,
saying
you don't have
they don't have a
creeps.
lot of overhead right now.
Yeah. So I don't feel like they would need to take so much money because they're people that they're paying, right? The drivers, they're out on the move doing their job, right? And you probably have some guys in an office, like some tech guys that are running the software for Uber, making sure that the system is running correctly. Maybe they got a database for all the drivers for safety, right? To make sure that your driver's not some creep that's going to kidnap you and off you off somewhere. Things like that. That makes sense. But how much money do they really need to take, right? If they don't have a whole lot of oversight, if all their workers are out on the move doing their jobs.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep, it does. And it really killed like public transportation or like even like taxis, because I feel like
you don't need to buy a car. You don't need to buy a car because we got Uber.
Yep.
You don't need to own a car.
And like I don't know how the taxi services worked or whatever, but I'm just gonna throw this out. It can be false or whatever. This is how I'm thinking of it. Like when the taxis were like owned by the state, or like I'm just thinking of New York when I feel like the taxis were owned by the state and like those fees, it would go to the drivers. Maybe they have a livable wage, but also like some of the fees that they're paying goes into the city. Goes back into the community. That money's being shuffled back into
roads or something.
Yeah. So, but I feel like this Uber is just going straight into whoever's owning its pockets.
Yeah, whoever's the company owner. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Just dystopian.
This leads us to a new economic engine, the heart of techno-feudalism, cloud capital. It's not merely digital assets or wealth that lives in the quote-unquote cloud, but very physical entities such as data centers, fiber optic lines, the very infrastructure that allows for platforms to exist. While cloud capital sounds like a core asset seen in our traditional concept of capital, say a factory, or materials, cloud capital is different in that it's only set up for extraction. It doesn't even contain the ability to produce. A good analogy is the following. For a textile factory, an owner needs to purchase cotton, machinery to weave it, employees for labor, and the factory itself. It then produces goods. In techno-feudalism, our quote-unquote tech lords may only need to build a data center, but they still need the makings of traditional capital, such as labor and material. And yet, once the data center is built, it parasitically leaches from communities, from power grids,
That's what we're just
and
talking
it
about.
harnesses political capital, granting tax breaks, striking deals with local governments to offset electricity costs on residents,
And I feel like, it's crazy, though, they're thinking about these tax rates, and right now they're talking about tax breaks, right? It doesn't make any sense to me, right? Again, I'm trying not to be in the my team versus your team mentality, but again, one of the big one of the big talking points from the left, which I get it, right, is eat the rich, right? Eat the rich, tax the rich. But then you got all these lefty billionaires.
Yeah.
You think they don't know loopholes to get around to not pay taxes, tax breaks? They know the
how to
loopholes,
do
bro.
it.
They're all in bed together, bro. They're all buddy. They're like, yeah, I got you, bro. I got you. Don't worry, I got that tax break for you. Don't worry, you don't got to worry about anything. You won't pay a cent.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, we're all retards. Eat the rich.
They're feeding off of you too.
Yeah. Stop being dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Research.
Like the one that lady that wore the Eat the Rich dress to the Met Gala. You're like, what? The most elitist.
The most elitist like event ever. Okay.
Etheridge.
All right.
Yeah. Start with yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And pollutes and harms those very local communities. Yet, the only output of a data center is a platform that controls and extracts. Just like a feudal lord extracting rent from serfs and their fiefdom, controlling you, dictating your behaviors, your livelihood, all on top of an infrastructure you paid for. And this infrastructure relies on your data, logging your purchasing habits, your whereabouts, your personal relationships. And one way to deny them this data is with a VPN. Yet, not all VPNs are made equal. Some do log your data, compromise your privacy. That's where Surfshark VPN comes in. Surfshark
The
has
ad.
an explicit
There's the
log-free
ad.
policy.
Is
meaning
Surfshark
they
really
do not
good?
store or
I use
log your
ExpressVPN, but
on
I don't
top
know.
of upping your
I don't know.
privacy, a good VPN can help you access region-locked parts of the internet, shows that are geographically locked on a streaming service,
Skip
and
this. We're not
even
paid
help you
by
find cheaper
Surfshark.
airline tickets,
No, we're not.
We're not
yeah,
giving
yeah.
them
making
advertisement.
the internet a safer place. Better yet,
Skip
you
around
can
a little
track
bit.
epoch at check additional months.
There we go.
So, how did we get here? To Varoufakis, the origin starts in the 2008 global financial crisis, and when the United States sought to save capitalism from itself.
CBS News Special Report, a presidential address to the nation.
Evening. This is an extraordinary period for America's economy. Over the past few weeks, many Americans have felt anxiety about their finances and their future. We've seen triple-digit swings in the stock market. Major financial institutions have teetered on the edge of collapse, and some have failed.
In 2008, George Bush and America's Congress passed the Emergency Economic Stabilization Act of 2008, commonly known as the bank bailout, where financial institutions were given nearly $1 trillion in taxpayers' money to help save them from the disaster they caused.
Traders here working the phones
Crazy.
say a lot of their
That's
customers
wild.
are freaked out, waiting to see how low the Dow will go.
The banks were failing, investment plummeted. From the hyper-commodification of housing and deregulation of banks created a firestorm that collapsed under its own weight. In 1999, this guy passed legislation that would repeal the Glass-Steagall Act, a 1933 regulation that forced the separation of investment and commercial banking. Commercial banks were what we know as normal banks, where you would deposit your checks, help you store your money, etc., while investment banks or firms invest for long-term future growth. Keeping these entities separate meant the banks where you would deposit your paycheck couldn't invest, or more accurately, gamble with your money to potentially lose it.
Dang.
So then, what do you? You know,
Oh
this
my
reminds me.
gosh.
You know, there's an episode in South Park where like they're like I think it's Butters, and he's like depositing his money, or it might be Butters, Kyle, or Stan, one of the three. They deposit their money. He's like, "Oh yeah, here I'm here to deposit some money," and the dude deposit is like, "Yep," and it's gone. Have you seen that clip?
I don't think so.
I
no.
have to show it to you, but it's like they're like essentially making fun of this. Banks that gamble with your money. You're like, oh yeah, here I got paid here's my $5,000 deposit for my work this month. Here you go. All right. Well, and then you come the next day. Yeah, I'm here to withdraw money. Oh yeah, here's your and it's gone. Yeah, your bank account's at zero, buddy. I just deposited yesterday. Yeah, well it's gone. We're dumb and we invested it and we lost it. So, yeah. Yeah, so what are you gonna do about my money? Yeah, it's gone. I don't know what else to tell you. Yeah, so I just gave you the money. Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, well, it's gone.
That's so scummy, man. Like, what is going
And then
on?
this is why you see the rate people are buying gold more. They're starting to invest their money into gold and silver as precious metals because that's if all this were to collapse, we fall back on gold.
But I forgot what president was, but he took us off the gold standard. Like, it was like this certain amount of money is equal to this amount of gold, and it was like however much gold we have in is how much money we should have.
Do you feel like that was a mistake taking off the gold?
Yeah,
I think the gold standard's still good.
Yeah, I think so. Cause I haven't really done research. I just heard a podcast about it. So take this as it is. But I feel like once we got off the gold standard, they just started printing money because we didn't have to, like, say, I think it was with a different country. It was like, all right, we loaned you this much amount of money, but we want it in gold instead. And if we don't have the gold to back it up, it's like we're just printing money, and then inflation starts going up. Cost rises, so like we can't back up what we're loaning out or what we're borrowing. It's like it's just not. It doesn't sound like good investment. Like,
No,
if
it
you
doesn't.
go to like a financial advisor, it's like running up your credit cards and you can't pay it back. You don't have the money.
Exactly.
That's kind of what in the situation we're in now.
Bad financial decisions.
You see where this is going. Throughout the 2000s, commercial banks were granting subprime mortgage loans for homes people could not afford, a practice that would have been illegal before 1999, and in 2008, it stopped American capitalism in its tracks.
So essentially the guy that was, because I've always heard Bill Clinton, we are in a surplus underneath Bill Clinton. So really, could you say like Bill Clinton in a way like planted the seed for this to happen? That's what it sounds like. Sounding like. Because every time I've heard about Bill Clinton is because I was like probably like I'd just been born around Bill Clinton's presidency. So I'm like, okay, Bill Clinton, right, was the president, right? So I've heard from under him that we had a surplus under Bill Clinton. The economy was great. The economy was awesome. But then now hearing that this happened, he rolled back some regulations, and like I feel like he planted the seed for this to happen. Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sounds like it.
The state of our economy calls for action, bold and swift, and we will act, not only to create new jobs, but to lay a new foundation for growth. We will build the roads and bridges, the electric grids and digital lines that feed our commerce and bind us together.
After the bailouts passed under Bush, Obama then passed the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009. The federal government took a Keynesian approach of public investment into various programs that would also benefit working or middle-class Americans. But under the surface, something else was happening. Bush's bailout bill allowed legacy industries and finance and other sectors to buy back stocks for record low prices, enriching executives in companies and centralizing control. While Obama's stimulus plan wasn't the same explicit bailout seen under Bush, there were stipulations to help normal people, but those were all side objectives with the ultimate plan of, quote, stimulating the economy, which is short for enriching the same rich people who got us here. His stimulus plan saw massive public investment in digital infrastructure such as fiber lines, granting this cloud capital to these corporations with American taxpayer money. Thus, the state facilitated what we now know.
All right, you got us in this mess. All right, we're going to get you out. All right, now, here's more money for you. Here you go.
Money, not helping anybody that was affected. Nobody.
Oh, my God, bro. This is eye-opening.
It is. It's scary, dog.
This is a good video. By the way, whoever's editing this video, bro, great job, man.
I'm locked in,
this
bro.
This is great. Man. This is very eye-opening. It's like, all right, so retard rich guys got us here. All right, we're going to bail out the rich retards. And then guess what? The rich retards, guess what? They're going to get even more rich. Oh, would you look at that? Oh, but I lost my house. That sucks.
Sorry, pal. Go kick
as
rocks.
Big tech and the creation of this cloud capital. Yet, we've only scratched the surface of what techno-feudalism entails. The reality is, its project is much more vast, and the implications will be felt for decades to come.
Let's see.
Moving them on through the heart of LA.
There's a political angle to techno-feudalism we have yet to touch on. Despite the common myth of capitalism as a system inherently separate from the state, in realities, economies in the state have a long history of colluding together and making each other stronger. Yet, the United States, in 2025, stands alone as one of the largest examples among a historical few. I'll give you a hint where else we've seen this.
No.
Techno-feudalism might describe the economic arrangement, but a new descriptor of our political reality is popping up. In the same verbiage, techno-fascism has been coined. Like traditional fascism, a far-right, authoritarian, anti-democratic, and nationalist ideology that molds corporation and state under a unified umbrella, we're seeing this play out in a new lens with US tech corporations. That sounds far-fetched. Hear this. Palantir, OpenAI, and Meta executives.
Why am I hearing that name more and more?
Palantir.
Palantir.
We gotta do a deep dive on this.
Why am I hearing
Peter
that
Thiel,
name?
it's scary, dude.
I've been hearing that name a little too much lately.
I haven't done a whole lot, but I know it's scary and I know it's
I haven't
crazy.
heard much about it. I've been hearing that name, Palantir.
Guys, we're gonna talk about it. We'll do some research and maybe watch a video or something. But
yeah, for sure.
Were just sworn in as lieutenant colonels in the United States Army. You heard that right. Technology executives are now officers in the US military. Yes, that's a very real thing. This isn't just corporate cozying to the US state for the benefit of shareholders' value and profit, though. While someone like Mark Zuckerberg may never have an authentic, non-opportunistic thought in his life, and is happy to switch when things benefit him, in the case of Palantir...
Alright, I'm gonna be a commie for this administration. Oh, I'm not a commie no more. I am all the way to the right. Interesting.
Spineless.
Wherever this is at, that's where he'll be.
People like Peter Thiel and Alex Karp have both expressed deeply nationalist and supremacist sentiments. The intention of reactionary ideological projects go even deeper with Peter Thiel. Here's a clip of him at a 2010 Libertarian conference.
The basic idea was that we could never win an election on getting certain things because we were in such a small minority. But maybe you could actually unilaterally change the world without having to constantly convince people and beg people and plead with people who are never going to agree with you through a technological means. And this is where I think technology is this incredible alternative to politics.
What Thiel means by replacing politics with technology is replacing democracy with technology, using it to overthrow the means of collective power. No more consensus, no more democratic coalition between groups. The goal being the ones who control technology are the ones who control everything.
Dude, this is kind of coming full circle, dude. This is what we were talking about in the beginning of the episode.
So that's why there's the race. I feel like that's why we've started the AI race, and China kicked off the AI race with DeepSeek, and that's why we're at the race of who's going to have the strongest AI.
Yeah, it's like
I think whoever has control over AI is going to control everything.
It's like the race to create the first atomic bomb. It's the same thing.
Yep.
Who's gonna get it first, and whoever
we are
does
in a technology race now,
bro.
It's the new arms race.
It's full circle. Go back, watch the first half of the show, man. We're talking all about YouTube censorship and whoever controls technology control.
Prove my point, man. Prove my point.
Since Reagan, we have seen the myth of small government and privatization to consolidate state power. But the Trump administration has taken this to another level. Just this year, after the economy froze, we saw Trump full-throatedly admitting to using his tariff threats to enrich billionaires and groups close to the White House.
He made $2.5 billion today, and he made $900 million. That's not bad, because he's in financial.
A system of techno-feudalism accomplishes the political aim of demagogues.
How can I make more money, Mr. President? Help me here.
Yeah.
I hate Biden. I hate lefties. Can you help me make more money?
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what he's saying.
While enriching existing oligarchs. Control is the point.
And meanwhile, Biden, I love lefties. I hate those fascists. Can you help me make more money?
He took Trump off Facebook, didn't he? And Trump just let him in, bro. Oh, that's not the same, bro. He's soft now, dude.
Zuckerberg is it? Oh my God.
A better way to do this than keeping people poor. And one way you do that is by destroying ownership.
Yeah.
There's a few ways ownership is under attack here. The obvious way is the actual ownership of goods. Your home, your vehicle, your phone, your food, even your education and retirement. We were promised the market and 401ks could facilitate a greater retirement than pensions. And yet, now the top 10% richest own 93% of the entire stock market. The other attack on ownership is of yourself, your esteem. The point isn't just to take everything from you, but to strip you of your agency, the expectation of you as a human being. This contrasts capitalism's hyper-individualism, where corporations can sell upon this idea of a cohesive self. In America, you buy a large truck while almost never using it for its intended purpose. You buy Apple products upon the marketing gimmick it's different, polished, and colored.
Yep. They got you by the neck. I was going to say something else, but they got you guys.
Well, wait,
They got all of us.
Is that Apple Intelligence? I thought that wasn't out yet. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, sorry.
Colorfully refined compared to the generic feeling of Android and personal computers. In order to profit, capitalism must facilitate a strong, independent view of self. Ironically, the tech companies that promoted themselves as places where workers would be able to nurture their independence, where conformity was never expected, facilitated in offices filled with beanbag chairs, those very places created this techno-feudalism, an economic ideology that seeks to flatten human existence. The relationship and adherence to an undemocratic state is a perfect marriage. The technology rapidly developing is becoming powerful tools of surveillance. Facebook, Google.
Look at China, right? Don't they like have facial recognition tech everywhere you go? Oh,
there's smart cities.
Oh, it's smart cities. It's nice and convenient. Oh, really? It's convenient. Yeah,
So
we
we
know
can-
your every move.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
How convenient is that to know your every move?
And a lot of people think America's going down that route too,
No,
especially with
don't surprise me.
Palantir. I think Palantir is going to be a huge playmaker in that.
I don't know. We're just saying what we're seeing right now.
All creating explicit maps of your life. Palantir and the Trump administration.
There it is again. I don't know. I'm hearing that name a little
Trump
too
taps
much.
Palantir to compile data on Americans. What that?
Creating a master database on all U.S. citizens, which, if that sounds unbelievably absurd, we covered that in a video linked above.
Gotta watch that.
Yep.
Like all Goliaths, though, they eventually fall. We've operated under the presupposition techno-feudalism is a separate system from capitalism. There's debate to be had that techno-feudalism isn't something inherently new, but an incredibly weak phase of late-stage capitalism. While I won't entertain that debate here, we should note that techno-feudalism cannot manipulate in the same way as capitalism. Rather than promising you wealth at the end of the tunnel, techno-feudalism transparently siphons everything from you. It gives you less than what is needed to survive, with no future promise of something better. Just a shallow elaboration that you're more free driving DoorDash than working a traditional union job. An idea so preposterous, not even drivers believe. Capitalism cannot afford to not make promises. It must manipulate and lie to survive. And right now, in 2025, that belief is at an all-time low. Techno-feudalism does not have the same propagandistic capabilities as capitalism. It's far too transparent. Capitalism can sell lies to you for decades. It can sell ideals. Yet in techno-feudalism, the only real ideal it can sell you is subservience. This is good news for us. The further good news is that platforms present a single point of failure. Data centers present a single point of failure. State and corporate consolidation present a single point of failure. It's incredible how unstable of a foundation techno-feudalism lays upon. In 2025, this problem is further compounded by AI, the hilarious short-term goal of corporate executives who think AI can replicate human labor in the short term. This system is...
Do you think it's going to be able to replicate, like, do you think AI is truly going to replace a lot of jobs? Like long term, it's a long-term thing, it's going to work, it's going to be reliable.
Yeah.
Or would it be something that's going to be implemented and it's going to fail and we're going to have this huge labor collapse?
I think I don't know, man. I think it can take a lot of jobs. I think it's here to stay.
I feel like it's
I
here
think
to stay, but I
stay.
feel like they might implement it to take. I think they might get too ambitious with it, and then there might be a huge labor collapse.
Yeah, I feel like they'll get ahead of it. Of like they'll think it's at where it is and it's not. I believe that can happen, but I believe long term, like once it's actually time and it's fleshed out more, I think it'll for sure take a lot of jobs, a lot of monotonous jobs that humans do because there's nothing else to do it. But
Yeah.
but that AI can be a lot more efficient in.
Mm.
I think so.
Okay.
Doomed to fail as soon as workers can effectively organize and labor can be rescinded. If techno-feudalism truly is a system beyond capitalism, one thing is for certain. It will be a far less stable system than capitalism and the prior feudal system before it. Thanks for watching and making it to the end. I have a huge request. With YouTube's ever-restricting view on what's ad-safe, these videos are always a risk to make. Because of this, these videos are only made possible by the kind people over on Patreon and our website. If you enjoy these videos, consider pledging just a few dollars a month. It literally means the survival of the channel. Before we go, I want to give a special shout out to these patrons: Cedric Watman, Jay Roberts, Billy.
Great video, man. The editing is just on point.
Oh, it is a channel.
Very
Epic Philosophy.
eerie. Yeah, Epic Philosophy. Right there.
Go watch the full video. Go give it a like.
Give it a like.
Sure.
So we'll give it a like right now.
That was very insightful.
Yes, it's very good. Very good. Great video. Very eerie. Very nice. We need to do that for our My Team versus Your Team video. You're going to make it very
like,
eerie, bro.
It's like, it's inspiring me.
Got to make it very eerie, very dark. Because, man, it just keeps you drawn in. It's just like,